Welcome to Unit 1. The topic, Messiahship. The topic, Messiahship. By the end of this instructional unit, you should be able to explain the concept of Messiah, the Hebrew origin, and the Greek language parallel. Secondly, by the end of this interaction, you should be able to explain the role of Messiah in the context of proto-evangelical. Also, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the prophetic periods associated with Messiahship. And so we shall begin with the concept and biblical origin of the term Messiah. Messiah, in Hebrew, otherwise called Messiah. In Hebrew, otherwise called Messiah. In all the 39 instances of his occurrence in the Old Testament, is rendered by the Septuagint version of the Bible as Christus. Christus, Christus, Christus. It means anointed. For example, priests, prophets, and kings were anointed with oil and so consecrated to their respective offices. The great Messiah is anointed above his fellows. He embraces in himself all the three offices, that is, kings, priests, and prophets. That is the Hebrew concept and origin. In biblical Greek rendering, it is known as Messias. It is used twice in the New Testament, in John chapter 1 verse 41 and John chapter 4 verse 25. Messiah, which in the Old Testament we said the word means Messiah, Messias, Messiah. And in the Old Testament it occurs twice as well. We find the term in Daniel 9:25 and in verse 26, the anointed one. And that is the Hebrew and Greek ideas or concept of the term Messiah. Our understanding of Messiahship needs further clarification as we examine the role of Messiah in the context of proto-evangelical. By proto-evangelical, we mean the first gospel. The first great promise is contained in Genesis 3:15. It's the gem of all the prophecies recorded in the Old Testament regarding the coming of the Messiah and the great work he was to accomplish on earth. Genesis 3:15. The prophecies became more definite and fuller. As the ages roll on, the light shone more and more unto the perfect day. And so, the idea of the Messiah, the anointed one, can be otherwise termed the seed of the woman that will bruise the head of the serpent. Genesis 3:15. This was after the fall of Adam and Eve. A third aspect of the concept of Messiahship is the prophetic period associated with Messiah. Different periods of prophetic revelation have been pointed out. The patriarchal period, we have those anointed. The Mosaic period of Moses, anointed one. The period of David, anointed. The period of prophetism, that of the prophets, whose works form a part of the Old Testament canon. So these various periods are illustrative of the various dimensions of the anointed one, priest, king, prophets. And so the expectations of the Jews were thus kept alive from generation to generation till the fullness of the times, when Messiah came, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law. In him all these ancient prophecies have their fulfillment. Jesus of Nazareth is the Messiah, the great deliverer who was to come. You find the following scriptures for the reading. Matthew chapter 26 verse 54, Mark chapter 9 verse 12, Luke chapter 18 verse 31, Luke chapter 22 verse 37, John chapter 5 verse 39, Acts chapter 2, Acts chapter 16 verse 31, Acts chapter 26 verse 22 and 23. And in addition, on the Old Testament and New Testament concept of the term Messiah, we have Exodus 28:41, Exodus 40 verse 15, Numbers 3 verse 3, 1 Kings chapter 19 verse 16, 1 Samuel chapter 9 verse 16, 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 3, 2 Samuel chapter 12 verse 7, Psalm 45 verse 7, John chapter 1 verse 41, John chapter 4 verse 25, and Daniel chapter 9 verse 25 and 26. And so far, we have seen the concept of the Messiah in the Old Testament and the New Testament, referring to the anointed one. And we said kings, priests, and prophets could be anointed. We also noted the role of Messiah in the context of proto-evangelical, as contained in Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. And we mentioned the various prophetic periods associated with Messiahship, such as the patriarchal, the Mosaic, the period of David, and the period of prophetism. But above all, Jesus of Nazareth is the Messiah, the great deliverer who was to come. That is the end of Unit 1 on Messiahship.